My name is Valerie Allen. I am doing this for the children. When the graves were first exposed, I think everyone just felt in shock and grieving and wondering what you can do. So this is one thing I felt that I can do. I love to swim, so basically that's it.
Hi, I'm Billy Joe Brayson, and this is Catherine McCormick, and we're doing the 1 mile swim today. We decided to do it just as a personal challenge, and it's fun, and of course it's a wonderful cause to give back to the natives.
I'm Sherry Lynn Kane.
I'm Jim Dickey.
And we're swimming because this is a great cause in a beautiful setting, and we still can.
Thank you.
My name is Julie McDonald, and I'm swimming because my grandmother was born and raised in Yellowknife, and I want to do anything I can to help support the community.
Hey, I'm Henry Bubelis. And I'm Jack McKinnon. And we're out here today to support friends and family across the country.
Spread awareness.
I'm Sophia Tumini, and I'm here to raise money and awareness to support our indigenous communities, something that's really close to home up here on the peninsula, and also here to test my own physical limits.
Alright, my name is Sarah, and I'm swimming today because I think that reconciliation with the First Peoples of this land is one of the most important things that we can do, and starting with our local community and supporting our local community, in particular our First Nations, is just an important part of that.
I'm Dominic. I'm paddleboarding alongside Sarah for support, but yeah, I wanted to do this because, to echo what Sarah said, that supporting our community, and especially the First Peoples that were here, and the ancestors of the First Peoples that were here before colonization, is definitely important, and I'm glad that this was a fundraiser and we were able to get a lot of family and friends involved through the fundraiser to donate, so it seemed like a great cause, so we're happy to be here.
I'm Aiden.
And I'm Jillian.
And we're swimming to support the community.
Hey, my name's Kevin. I'm swimming for reconciliation.
Okay, hi, I'm Jackie Madden. And I'm Michelle Lockhart. And we love to swim in Lake Huron. We're in regularly, and this is a good cause, so we're real excited to be here. And actually, Jackie's in regularly. I'm in very sparingly, but I'm going to try and keep up. So it's awesome. Thanks for having us.
Empty.
No.
Each time, it's only divided by about 30 seconds, so whoever requested to be together will be together, but regardless, you will be relatively close to each other. So we're going to read out your heats right now, and then when we say go, then we'll get you pulled in your line.
We have Mr. Paul Nadjiwan here with us. He's honored us from Nyashing to be here, and I'm going to invite him right now to come here and open this swim for us. Thank you again. Please be safe and have a great day. Enjoy your time.
It's very nice, and it's very exciting to see all of you here supporting this initiative. You know, I'm going to do a ceremony, so part of it I'm going to explain it in English, but I have to change over to speaking Ojibwe, which is our ancestral language. And but first thing I'm going to do is acknowledge Mabasanman Miigwech. I've been given tobacco, so that is always a very prominent and sacred offering that is always part of any of the gatherings that we hold as Native people. And we're seeing now, as we do today, that protocol is now being understood and also being offered by our non-Native relatives and friends and those who we are associated with. So we thank you for acknowledging that tobacco offering. Tobacco is a very sacred plant. I know one of my weaknesses and crutches in life is I still smoke cigarettes, but I don't use alcohol, I don't use drugs, I don't gamble or anything like that. So it's the worst of what I am and what I have. And of course I'm not perfect, so. but I do a lot of these ceremonies for the chiefs and councils of the Saugeen Nation territory and territories beyond our 5 treaty area. Now, I'm gonna tell you a bit of a creation story, but I'm going to do the offering first. So I'll just have you bear with me for a few minutes, and we'll sort of go into the ceremony. And when I explain this creation story, I'm asking forgiveness from the grandfathers and grandmothers, the ancestors, the guardian spirits, and the Great Spirit, because normally we do not tell our creation stories when there isn't snow on the ground. So I'm breaking something, a bit of a tradition, and I apologize to my ancestors for having done that, but I believe it's extremely important, and you're going to understand something that has always been within your heart and spirit, and it may not have been brought to your attention before, but today you will know after I tell you exactly what that is. So with that, I'm going to proceed. I'm going to light a little bit of sage if I can get it to burn. Maybe it won't burn. There we go. Look close again. Bonjour. Manito kito dem nanek. Kakina ye ginawa besid mo kesti. Das kige anongam. Wewe ne matesti when we are kige inongam manito. Mem de gedes nebe manito. Begin. Miigwech, Saugeen Peninsula, Mabasa man the Miigwech, Eginwa, Papajiton Mabasa manongam. Nad moshana wat kinep majek kwashkari ying ma pinongam. Zebawat. Kinigay was again. Dan var again matuen. Asna wewe ne. Nu yes today no gomgari sigag. Ishon sananek no kumisnanek. Begi no amane dogi is kitchenin them nigi wab manan minawan no gum gishebawad. Asna wewe ne. Nu yes today no gomgari sigag. Not most nawat kinib mat chik kwashkari ying ma pino gomgari sigag. Asna Mr. Goodness sing. Das Miigwech. Das Miigwech. Nongum ga isagag. To me that's just the shop sananik. Nokumis nanik egin ma. Many doggies. I don't want to say too much because I might spoil it. Do I use my eagle feather? Every day there's an eagle that flies with the Sun Spirit. The Sun Spirit is one of our greatest assets, helpers, and guardians. It's known to all nations and all people. So we acknowledge the power, the grace, the giftedness, the givingness of the Sun Spirit, because we are all here standing here today in our bathing suits and our bare feet, because that sun is giving us that warmth and that beautiful sunshine. So that inspires us spiritually deep within our spirit. That sun goes right in there and he touches our spirit every single day without question. So there's an eagle that flies with that Sun Spirit and you can't see him. He's right up in the brightest part of the light there. The only way you would see him is if you were fasting or doing something really powerful like that, where different senses in your body come to be part of what we are as a total human being. As a being, we have 4 central parts. We have our mental part, our intellect, and our thinking. We also have our spiritual part, which is our intuition, and the way in which we connect to all other things in an invisible way. It's like when you get the inclination to shake hands or to hug somebody or whatever, that's part of that. And then we have our heart, the electrical component that sends fire and energy throughout our whole being. Our heart is very, very important in the operation and continuation of our life as we know it. So we have our mind, we have our spirit, we have our heart, our feelings, and we have our body. And all of you, I'm sure, who are taking on this challenge here today have probably spent enough time swimming to prepare for this. And I wish you all the best in that, what you are going to do. If you feel any sense of need for assistance, please don't try and fight it, you know. You need help from one of the boaters or whatever. Don't be afraid to ask for that, because I've swam out in deep waters and that I know how it goes sometimes. So that's something there. But now I'm going to tell you a creation story, because I'm breaking our own protocol in our what would be our cultural norm. I'm breaking that protocol because you all feel the same thing over this issue. Some of you are wearing your orange shirts today and honoring, you know, those children who were lost well before their time. Their lives were undermined in various ways, and they were expedited to the end of their time here in creation. It's a sad story, and I don't know how we will ever come to grips in the totality of those events and things that have happened to young children. And I've always said this to various people: if you don't know what to make of it, just imagine if it was your child, or your nephew, or your niece, or your grandchild, or your brother or sister who went and experienced, you know, what happened in some of these horrible places. My parents both attended residential school, and they actually got married in a residential school. So you really have to think about that one, you know. It's an unusual thing, but it happened. And my dad, he was one of a small group of natives who went through that system, and they actually graduated grade 12. They were the first ones, I think, in Canada. And a lot of them went on to be very, very prominent people. My dad was like a Hercules mechanic in the Air Force. He worked on planes and that, so very complicated type of job. Another one, he became a PhD doctorate and taught at the University of Federated Indian Colleges in Saskatchewan. Another one, Basil Johnson, whom you may know or may have heard of, a member of our community, who wrote a lot of books to preserve and retain cultural knowledge, native language, and history. So those are only a few. Another one became a medical doctor. But those are the exceptions to those who went to residential school. So there were some good things that happened and not so good things that happened. And we're going to hear as time goes forward, we're going to hear about more and more children that they're going to find. And the question is, where does the responsibility lie to remedy and reconcile those grievances, those atrocities? That's going to be really, really difficult and really challenging. And I don't think society, let alone First Nation communities, are anywhere near coming to grips with that. Okay? So we're all in that together. So now, I'll tell you the story, the creation story of how we all come to be where we are today. You may or may not know this, but as Anishinaabe people, Native people, Ojibwe people, we know we've come through 4 or 5 ice ages. Now that's a long, long period of time. The way history is taught in its formal sense in the academic and scholarly systems in our country, they don't account for all of that ancient history. But human beings have been here for a very, very long time. But at one time in creation, there was only one island out there. And if you look at the globe, any map of the world, you will see how all those islands fit together, right? Everybody knows that? Okay? So, there was a time when all those islands were one island. And all the people had been created. The animals helped to prepare the world. The animals were here before we were. And this is why we have animal plant spirits in our cultural ways as part of our identity. Myself, I'm from the Crane clan, so most of us are sort of tall, you know? This goes with the territory. And then the Bear clan, you know, they're kind of stocky and, you know, stuff like that. But anyways, so all the islands were together, the human beings were put on the earth, and they were not getting along. They weren't working together. In fact, you know, they were fighting and warring with each other. All kinds of things. So finally the guardian spirits and the great spirits, they said, well, this isn't working very good. We're going to have to do something. So, what they did was they said, we're going to separate this island and make it into other islands. And you're all going to go and live on your island. You're going to discover what's beautiful on your island. You're going to learn to utilize all the resources that are on your island. And in time, you will all come back together and you will share what you have learned. Because each of you will discover that you need each other to get through life in a complete sense. Just like we have 4 parts of our being, we can look at global human population as being related and interrelated to the 4 colors of man, which is red, yellow, black, and white. Okay? Most of you have probably some knowledge of that or awareness of that. So anyways, the Anishinaabe people who were on this part of that big island, they didn't want to leave, they didn't want to drift off with some other island. They felt very close to the creation spirit and the guardian spirits and the great spirits, so they didn't want to leave for that reason. And there were others that were on the other islands and thought, well, they know something we don't see that. And they said, no, that's not the case. We just feel good about being here, and this is what we will promise. We promise that we will keep the lands, the waters, the air. We will keep all that clean and pure. And we will maintain our knowledge of the medicines of the earth, of Mother Earth. We will also continue to practice our ceremonies so that we will all know how to continue to relate to all things in creation, both visible and invisible, both from the deep past to the present, well into the future, because we have to guard our future for our children, and they in turn will need to do the same. So this is what happened. And now, all of us here, we're representing all the walks of life that I've mentioned, and I see it, and I recognize it in each one of you. And without knowing you, and having a deep conviction to the spiritual and cultural teachings of my elders, I extend that to you, the energy and spirit of that, with love. I give it to you for that reason. And I can't explain it. Don't ask me to, because I don't know how. I can only say it that way. So, that's the first part of it. The second part, is there something amongst all of us here, every single one of us, that makes us the same under the Great Spirit? There's one thing. They marked us way, way back, our ancestors way, way back, before all those ice ages happened. And there's a mark that each one of us carries that is the same. And it has the same meaning. And it really means we are equal under the eyes of the Great Spirit, Mother Earth, sacred waters, all of these things, the animals, the birds, the trees, everything like that. And what that thing is, that each of you have is in the middle of your eye, there's a little black spot. You know what I'm talking about? Pupil. So you all have that, as do I. We're all the same. We come in different sizes, different shapes, different heights, different widths, whatever. We're all the same. And don't ever forget that. It's a great honor to be asked to come here and speak to you today. You're doing a very good thing. Creation is looking and watching and listening. And part of my tobacco offering there included all of that. So, pretty much used up my sage. I'm going to sing you a drum song now. Gotta get my drum.
I'll be part of your slow plan. Hey, I want slow.
Need a lifeguard? I got you.
On your mark. 2, 1, go!
on! Woohoo!
Paula. Paula. Great job, Paula. Oh. It's choppy out there. Yes, it is. Good job.
Great job up there!
Can we grab your names?
Oh,
Thank you so much. Nice. How do you feel?
My name is Brennan, and I'm a member of the Chippewas of Miigwech First Nation. I also work with Paul Nadjiwan, who opened us our event this morning with the prayer and the ceremony. So I was asked to kind of help participate in this event, and I was very happy to participate in this. I think that reconciliation is a huge part of all of our role in life right now. As we're wearing our orange shirts, and I think a lot of us are just learning about the numbers of children that were lost in residential schools and throughout the system of colonization. It's heavy information to hear. Myself, my grandmother attended the schools, and I do call her a survivor because we hear those numbers and we know that many people didn't come back from those schools. So the reason why I'm calling us in a circle is to give us all a chance to just kind of reflect on how we feel as we go into this reconciliation process, and even just hearing that news. So I want to say thank you to all of you, every single person who's come out today. Having people show up and care, that means so much.